Hi, I'm Anthony Abma, founder of Return to Israel. An important event in Israel is slated to be implemented by the government on July the 1st. Under the green light of the Trump peace plan, legislation is to be introduced that may possibly have Israel annex parts of the Jewish lands of Judea and Samaria. So, what does this mean for Israel and for us as Bible-believing Christians around the world who support the Jews' biblical rights to sovereignty in their God-given ancestral homeland? We've asked several respected people who actually live in these very areas in question to comment and share points to help us Christians understand the meaning and the depth of this historical moment. So I'm pleased to have Sondra Oster Baras, Director of the Christian Friends of Israeli Communities, share some of her insights with us as she lives there and as she moves about in her God-given land. Let's hear what Sondra has to say.
Hello, this is Sondra Oster Baras, Director of Christian Friends of Israeli Communities. And here are some vital facts that every Christian needs to know when we talk about annexation. First of all, what are we talking about? We are talking about annexing Judea and Samaria. Fact number one, Judea and Samaria, or as the world likes to refer to the area, the West Bank, is actually the biblical heartland of Israel. Places like Hebron, Shechem, the mountains of Samaria that Ezekiel refers to in Ezekiel 36, the mountains of Israel. Communities like Tekoa and Bet El are named for their biblical counterparts. All of these places are in the area that is referred to as the Judea and Samaria. These areas were lost to Israel in Israel's War of Independence. These are areas that Jordan occupied, annexed illegally, and that would have been the situation to this very day, except that in 1967, Jordan attacked Israel from these mountains, from Judea and Samaria, and in response, Israel liberated these areas. Unfortunately, Israel never annexed these areas, never extended its sovereignty to these areas. And therefore, ever since 1967, although Israel fully controls most of these areas, and there are close to 500,000 Jews living in these areas, they have a different legal status, which translates into a different practical status than the other parts of Israel. Third fact, you will hear many people, including some legal experts, talk about the fact that Israel's claim to this area or their hold on this area is illegal under international law. False. Israel has the stronger claim among any of the other surrounding nations for full sovereignty and full legal possession of Judea and Samaria. This area was part of the original mandate for Palestine that was given to British in trust to create a state for the Jewish people, a homeland for the Jewish people. That is an internationally recognized document that became part of the San Remo Treaty, and no international document, no decision of the United Nations passed since then serves to abrogate that legal status of the area, an area that remains held for the people of Israel to be incorporated into a Jewish state. Number 4, why annexation? A lot of people ask, what will that do for you that you don't already have today? And there's no question. The situation today in Judea and Samaria is a complicated one. There are probably at least 2 million Palestinian Arabs who live in our midst. It is not simple to divide this area. And so therefore, so many people have said, why divide it? Give it all to the Jews. And then there are people who say, why divide it? Give it all to the Arabs. Now, in my opinion, we, the Jewish people, need to be in control of the entire land. And my dream, my vision, is that one day, indeed, all of Judea and Samaria will be fully annexed and fully part, legally as well as biblically, into the rest of the state of Israel. But the extension of sovereignty today will indeed make a huge difference, even if it is only on 30% of the territory. It will bring the lives of the people living here, the Jews living in Judea and Samaria, their lives, many things having to do with their legal status, their ability to build, all of these things, these issues will be treated the same way they are in the rest of Israel, as opposed to being subject to so many legal and political constraints. But even more important, if Israel extends sovereignty to even 30% of Judea and Samaria, it will be making a statement. This land is ours, has always been ours, and it will always be ours. Thank you. This is Sondra Oster Baras from Samaria.